two categories of people: the ones that are very early stage, with Bubble, and then the ones that have some experience with Bubble and are looking to just upskill. So in order to support the two, this first week, at least till next week Wednesday, would be those early stage bubblers are going to need to put in the extra effort this week. Why? Because you're going to need to, first of all, this is for everyone. It's very important that you, throughout this boot camp, we are going to sort of read the entire Bubble docs. So this is important for both the Bubble developers and also the early stage ones. Apart from the fact that it's this understanding this entire doc is all you need to be able to pass the Bubble certification. A lot of things are updated on a regular basis, and if you read this 1 year ago, trust me, there's a lot of new stuff here, and stuff relating to native mobile, which we would cover, but also stuff relating to how certain elements are, which you haven't seen yet. So I would say for the early stage Bubble devs, this is a playlist that you would want to start with. What we are going to do is with our videos that we would create internally, we would go very specific to how you apply in real world situations. But these videos give you basically a surface high level understanding of a lot of things. A lot of them are 15 minutes short, or maybe some even under 5 minutes, but it's 79 videos that I would encourage you to watch over the next week. And as you watch, you're going to have your Bubble app on the side to try out things that you have. So I'm sure at least you have an account on Bubble. So you have created an app. You would want to start with a blank app. That's the best way to learn, because you need to understand the elements on Bubble as is, without templates, because I see people learn with templates, and I don't particularly think that's the right way to go. Understand each element and what each element would do. So for example, if you drop a button on the page and you're moving the button around like this, and in the video you see that he has a different layout, you would need to understand what these layouts do and why, if you change it, this does this, and if there's two buttons, if you change it, it does this. So understanding those things can come from just hovering over and going to the exact reference, because it points you to the exact documentation. But apart from that, you could also specify your search. So if you're specifying your search, it's basically looking for layouts in Bubble and looking for other people who have videos around such a topic. You're going to do a lot of this if you're going to upskill faster. And that's something that I would say all the early stage Bubble developers need to do first in this bootcamp. And you have about a week to do it. Do we have any questions? You could raise your hand if you have a question. Okay. Then shifting over to the guys who have sent us template project ideas. So the early stage bubble devs in this bootcamp, at the end of by the time we're meeting next week, you should have sent over your project idea. That's after playing around with bubble and thinking extensively about what you would like to build. But for the guys who have sent us templates ideas already, we're going to start off discussing them. So Adams, this is your idea. Can you talk about it?
I should just go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, please hold on. Called Kivo, and it's basically going to be for freelancers. It helps in managing projects in cases where freelancers are getting, when they're not able to complete their designs or rather design projects because maybe clients doesn't pay the client doesn't pay the rest of the funds, or it's not just completed. So what it solves is basically that gap. It fills that gap where both parties will walk away knowing that everything is delivered, that the freelancer gets paid, and the client also is able to track how the project is moving, and then it makes the process flow better between the client and the freelancer.
Okay,
so that's basically the problem is trying to solve.
Okay, so is this freelancers or general public? Anyone can use this escrow service, because it does seem like it's not particularly freelancer specific, and it could relate to a job. So are you trying to focus on a specific market or generally?
Well, when my target audience when I was building was just for freelancers.
Okay, that's fine. And how do you intend to handle escrow?
I haven't given it so much thought yet, to be very honest.
Are you handling for foreign clients and Nigerian clients, or just foreign clients?
Both foreign and Nigerian.
Okay, so the back to the general audience. The reason we're doing this is you're going to, by this time next week, the deliverables would be the product scoping document, which I would share a template in the chat. And in the product scoping document, you need to categorize all the screens and user stories of your app. When doing a scoping document, you're doing it with the intention or the idea that you have scoped out all the functionality independently, and you have added a time to it. You can only charge a client based off the understanding that it's going to take this level of effort. So if you don't understand the level of effort something is going to take, you cannot scope it out. So it's totally fine if you're not understanding some of the features of your idea right now, but by this time next week, we're looking for a scoping document, a timeline, and the timeline needs to be within the 2 months. We'll be looking for like the colors of your app. If you have a logo, that's fine. Design inspiration. So like landing page, here's what I want the dashboard to look like. these are all the things that you're putting in the scoping document because you are submitting this to a client, right? As the developer on the app or the product lead. So these are things that need to be thought out, and they are not things that you just put in a document and send. Particularly relating to the timeline, because next week you're going to explain why you think you can build this in this timeline and if you're going to have issues. Remember, it's not about loading it up with so much user stories. It's more about going from this point to this point successfully within the timeline. You can always add on features, but we are building the app so that it is scalable to add those features later. But at this stage, it is not a priority to load it up with so many features that you can't do, right? Or you don't think it's possible with Bubble because there's a different or you think is extra effort status. There's a difference between things that you have read up the API or you have seen a couple different APIs that support it. And it's not that you have tried it out, but you're confident that this is within Bubble's reach and within the timeline. You could add it in, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Iberi, can we talk about yours?
Yeah. So we're going with fleet pulse, which is the second idea there. So the reason is a lot of companies have fleets of vehicles. It could be motorbikes, it could be vans, aircraft, anything. So it could be logistics companies, it could be like banks. Different industries have vehicles, and sometimes keeping track of the vehicles might be difficult because these are manually done. So they want to keep track of repairs, licensing, where the vehicle is at a particular given time. So the idea is to build an application whereby these companies can subscribe and upload the number of vehicles that they want, and then they can also upload the status of each vehicle, say when last they were serviced, when last they were licensed, when it's getting expired and stuff like that. And with this, they can also track location of a vehicle at every given time. For example, in the morning, if it's a vehicle that's supposed to leave, it is shown that this vehicle have left, and if it's supposed to be back, and which driver, stuff like that. Keeping track of it. I hope that this will be able to help to reduce things like cost of maintenance or repairs. So if you service your vehicle more often, then you would have less to spend on repairs that might come as a result of lack of maintenance.
All right, sounds good. Are you you understand what we're expecting this time next week, right? In terms of the scoping.
Okay, so from your conversation, we expect to have a scope document with things that are deliverable within the 8 weeks period, I guess.
Yeah, and timeline. So this is what we're looking for, right? Apart from the general background, which is high-level functionality of what you are trying to build, we need to know who are the people that are going to interact with the app. So basically, is it the staff? Is it the customer? Is it the admin? These are all the people that relate to the current scope of functionality. Meaning, if you don't have an admin page, do not have the app does not cater to the admin, so it should not be here. Then if you go down to screens, there could be sub screens, which is like dashboard /staff, those are the screens that we need to detail out the exact type of functionalities that we want to support. Do you want to support uploading staff with CSV for companies that have hundreds of staff who can't go in manually to add these to the system? Are you supporting some type of white labeling? You would need to detail that somewhere in here. You would just do that for every single bit of functionality. There's always things that could come up while building, but remember, the point of this exercise is to better estimate, better derive the hours of a particular scope, so we don't underestimate or overestimate based on the functionality list. You could have, apart from this, you would then have a timeline being your start of the project week. Here's what you're working on week 1, 2, 3. Here's when we move into testing, because that is when we are expected. The NCI team is going to start testing your app. And here's when we should launch, right? We would, as much as possible, try to go through all of those stages. I think Bubble gives some credits to start off the app on a free. So you could go to a starter plan and actually launch with the URL. Any questions?
No, but something you mentioned about design, I don't know if you were saying that we need to make a design as part of the scoping document, or we just point out like colors. I didn't get that properly.
Okay, so there's several sites that give you an idea what you should build.
I think you're muted.
Yeah. So there's several sites that give you an idea what to build. One of them I like to use, even though there's a lot more right now, is Dribble. And you see, if you're searching for a shopping site, right? This is the query. You can see a bunch of these, and this gives you an idea how you're going to build your screens. Not every time do you have a designer on standby that's just going to build out the screens before you push them into Bubble. And as a developer, you're not also expected to have a mastery of Figma so as to do that and then do it in Bubble. But one thing that you are going to have to improve your skills on, maybe let's look at your app. So let's see. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have a sidebar like this in my dashboard, that could just be a crop out, and you put it in the document. If you say you want the actual fleet management to look something like this, where you have the vehicles on this side and there's a map over here and there's a timeline over here, that's something that you're sharing with us, the client, to approve. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Pelumi, can we talk about yours?
Okay, so evening once again, and this my project, Agent Flow, is actually just should I say it's a project that came out of the clients I've been working with, or should I say the complaints I've been getting from clients recently, or should I say for a while now. Then I tried checking. I actually wanted to just get something up, right? Something to like make money off. And I want an evergreen market. And then I thought about it. So what's an evergreen market? Like what's a market that never dies? And I realized people don't stop building houses. People don't stop renting houses, especially in the US, right? In the US, all these regions where they, rent houses per month and stuff. right? Their realtors are they are very, very busy, right? So I try to check into them. What are the things that they have as pain? What's their problem? What do they face? Then I figured, okay, per closing, they make a lot of money, but before they close a particular deal, sometimes it takes them months, sometimes, a long process and stuff. And many of the times when I spoke with one of them that I have in my GM, he said one of the biggest challenges they have is leads management and stuff, right? And then I kind of tried to consider what's the difference between this particular lead management platform I'm building, and then the ones that we already have, like all these series that we have already, right? Then I figured, okay, there's a difference or there's a unique selling point in this, in that I'm building with the aim of, making it bigger, right? There are other things I have in mind. So basically, this is for realtors or real estate agents that want to close deals, right? And then they have leads or they want to generate leads and stuff. So the platform is basically to manage their leads. So yeah, it's a lead generation tool that helps residential real estate agents find motivated off-market sellers before the competition begins, right? Before they get. Sorry, hold on, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. Right. So now the problem is that realtors they constantly struggle with the lack of inventory, right? So, for example, when a good property hits the market, right, all these Zillow and all these platforms, right, the most of these realtors they lose control because they get bigger guys to bid on these stores, and that's one of the challenges they face, especially new realtors, like 1 to 3 years in business, right? And then the opportunity lies in finding homeowners who need to sell it but have not listed their property yet. Right? So the process is actually currently manual and it's time consuming and it's based on luck. So that's if you see a very lucky apartment and stuff. So it causes them to feel anxious and stuff, right? So I'm trying to build a platform that kind of can help their life to become a little easier. Something they can want to pay for, something that will help them. So now the broad idea of the platform is that, okay, for a real estate agent now, you have a particular platform where you have your properties listed, you have your leads, you have interactions and different other things that you can do on the platform basically. Right. So for example, when you get to the leads page, right, on the leads page, you have the list of the people that you have, maybe 50 leads that you're working with, right? And then you see the status of each of them. Maybe they are currently bargaining, maybe they are new leads, maybe they have been, all these different things, right? And then that's just basically the overview of things, just a lead management platform, basically a CRM, right? So the features, the user authentication, obviously, data dashboard is a very, very simple dashboard, right? To view a list of their potential off-market leads and stuff, right? And then they can see an overview of their progression. And then a lead filtering page where they have the list of all the leads they have on the platform. And then they can filter their leads by, okay, new leads and, ongoing leads and stuff. And basically we have the saved list. These ones are simple features. And I'm talking about the original features interactions with leads. That's one thing I missed. I forgot to put here. Interactions. So for example, now you can have a lot of leads and you can create interaction for each lead. So for example, you just meet somebody or somebody just signed up or somebody just showed interest in a property from your properties page, right? When they show interest, an interaction is created and then there's kind of a booking that is created for them. So even if they don't open the app, right, and somebody shows interest and then probably goes on to book a call for a particular time, right? They see it on their booked calendar or maybe they see it on their email or something. Right? So that's the whole idea of the whole platform, right? The reason why I'm still kind of in research phase because I'm trying to figure out what is the most unique selling point for this platform. So I don't just go on and build other things. But then at the end of the day, I figured it's actually another way to actually learn and, build something. Because initially I had an idea to build this on Bubble and then not use Bubble for my backend, right, and my database. Because I'm looking at, okay, if I want to build a scalable app, something that eventually will go big, and if I want to move maybe from Bubble to another platform, how easy is it going to be for me? So, right? So I decided to use Bubble for the front end and then Xano for the back end. Right, so that's like basically the whole project idea. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does seem like you've thought it out. Samuel, is Agent HMO relating to this somehow?
Like, maybe in terms of the niche as regards um
Okay.
maybe in terms of the niche, but in terms of the functionality, not
Not so much. Yeah.
not quite sure. Yeah.
So we built this last year. It's like a marketplace where you can see properties and look at them on the map and all of that. So in terms of dashboard structure, I would say you would need to think, because you mentioned wanting to use a separate platform for the backend. You would need to understand why, because that's something you're going to have to explain. That's going to have to be in your scoping document, that you are not using the Bubble database and you're using another one. What kind of numbers are you estimating for your project? Why can't Bubble handle those numbers? How do you intend to handle workload units? Because that might be something that you're looking at, right? But yeah, all of these are in Bubble, so we didn't use an external one for this. Do you understand what we expect next week?
Yeah, kind of like a should I call it a restructured project document?
Yes, so more detailed and all of that. Okay. Jose, do you want to go?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My interest basically, I've always been like a fashion girly, and I buy like a lot of clothes, and I realized that there is no app, as far as I know of, that you can place these items you've gotten there. I decided to, talk about the product idea. It's basically going to be a mobile app that allows, users to be able to resell their outfits, either they've worn it once or over time. It's a platform that bridges fashion sustainability with convenience, basically. And the core features will be quick upload listing. You'll be able to upload your pictures, with the basic details like the size of outfit. You set their prices as well. Basically, there will also be like an in-app chat system where buyers can, have conversations with the sellers, offer their prices as well. There would also be a feature that has, the drop off or pick up depending on the seller, the seller's availability or, their location as well. And there would also be like a feature that, talks about how to style the outfit, their preference, and what they would love to see basically on the app if they are shopping next time. Basically, that's all I've written up.
Okay, sounds good. Something I'm going to show you, because you mentioned.
Okay.
You mentioned not having any competitors. I just copied your product brief. This is something that you can do just to understand what's on the market. 5 competitors, right? And sorry. So these are all people that you could check out. So generally, AI is really good at helping you expand your product brief or your idea from the client. It's as much as not even just on a competitor's level, but with helping you break down the features that you need. So it is going to be really, really helpful. I would encourage you guys to use it while expanding your scope. Ignore the rubbish that comes with it, but like take out the good part. You said mobile. Let me see. You said mobile app. Do you mean you're not going to build for desktop, or okay, she's not here. Let me just go to the next one. Tell me, what do you want to go?
Yes, good evening. In a bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
You're a bit faint though.
my product idea is one that was spurred because I'm a student, and like I stated, I said I'm a final year student, and I observed that preparing for tests, exams, assessments as a student can be tedious, disorganized, and frustrating at times if you like to read alone like me. So my product idea is one that can help students connect with other students. That does not have to be live. It does not have to be a physical one. It can help you collaborate with them on study groups. It can help you track your progress. You can have a partner. You can have reminders for notifications and notifications for upcoming events. You can chat and discuss with your fellow students, discuss on topics you have issues with, and just that.
Okay, so are you launching this in your school?
No, it's not going to be for a school per se. It's going to be for. Oh, I actually didn't think of that, but all I thought of was a product where students generally can just use. Students can use, and probably students uses the platform. It creates a group where probably it costs like e.g. 503, and he puts the topic down. If someone else that is a student in that department as well, you can also check and search if there is a topic there as like that, or you can create his own new one. Not like that. I just create student generally, not school.
Your first audience is in your school, so I would suggest you think about them while building. It's much easier
You
to.
said
I might have to. It's just 1 second. I'm just going to explain. So it's much easier to build products for your school because that's your first audience. Those are the first customers or users on your platform. That's your first test case, right? As much as possible, building products for yourself is most times how you build really, really good products that are going to be successful because you have your first client base and you can quickly validate your idea easily. Instead of looking for users, you have at least 1,000 users that you could use this for. Okay, Hussein, do you want to
go? Yes. Good evening, everyone. So I had two app ideas, product ideas. I mean that I wanted to try out and see if it's how far I can go with it. And the first one is Calories Club. I thought about it for people that struggle with eating habits, people that eat where they have anxiety, people that forget to eat because of too much of work. So short term it can cause ulcer, long term it can have other genetic and health conditions. So the app was, I thought about the app to as a bridge for that issue. You understand? So basically, the app can suggest how many calories that would be required for you to eat as someone for example, the target audience are for working class people and as well as people that are trying to gain weight. You understand? So I thought about it as the apps having to suggest the amount of calories you would need. You understand, for the day, so as to prevent underlying issues and to achieve a certain goal for the particular user. You understand? So the second product idea was, my thought process was not for Nigeria per se, because the target audience here, I don't think we observe animal rights here, so it's more of foreign clients. So it's for pet owners basically. So in as much as you would want to undermine animals, they are man's best friend. So this applies to pet owners that have family pets like dogs and cats. You understand? So and sometimes pet owners are really sensitive to whom they give their pets to. You understand? And in some cases, there are some pet owners that are kind of busy to take care of their pets or forget to care for their pet's health. You understand? So this app was also a bridge to close the gap on that issue. So the thought process was for the app to have the user end and the admin, which is the people that are going to the caretakers for the pets. You understand? So the ones that are doing the grooming and the monthly treatments for the pets. So that's basically the summary of what I'm trying to achieve with both products.
Do you want to build both products?
Well, yes and no at the same time, because I know that both products are, they are good for the target audience that I'm looking at. You get, so I'm looking more of the leaning towards the calories club actually, that product actually. But both of them are actually good.
All right. It does seem like you have given a lot of thought about your target audience. That's very important, because you know what you're closer studying what's on the market, because you know that your competition is not small. And building an app, you need to literally go and understand whatever they support and see if you can support it or match them, at least in terms of functionality, because that's the first stage. The building is just the first stage. But if the building is good, you could then say, okay, how can I get this out there? Because when you get your first customers, they are getting a good experience and can leave good reviews or recommend. So whichever one works, maybe this one, because there's a larger client base.
Okay.
You understand what we're expecting next week?
Yes, but I don't know. I have a few questions I would like to ask.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Yeah, so first of all, the next week, right, is just the scoping documents particularly, right?
Okay, so let me explain next week. The next week is when, once you start, if you start a scoping document and you have the first, you need it to be reviewed, right? And you have it this evening. You're sending that to the channel so that someone from the team can review it. But you're meant to undergo many review stages for your scoping, for your timeline, for your design choice, all of those. And then when we are meeting next week, Wednesday, we are having more high-level conversation, because I cannot ask you all of these questions on the call. So all of that is meant to be done on Slack. So you're not waiting till next Wednesday to send all of these. You can start sending from today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
What else? Okay. Jeffrey.
Yes, so this app, Verify, is actually personal to me because I have had my own fair share of very bad experience. So I thought to myself that maybe someday I have the opportunity to create a solution. I would actually do it. And so this is Verify. It deals with providing technicians or professionals who would help you get clarity and vet for whatever product you intend buying. So our target audience is mostly buyers, Nigeria. I mean, car heavy, for example, car heavy market like Nigeria and other African countries. And we all know that Nigeria is, I mean, we do not really buy brand new cars. So there is a high chance of fraud, selling bad products for a very good price, like overpriced. So this app helps to bridge that gap between the buyer and the seller. It's basically for vetting and assessment. It does not list, as compared to the likes of GG, Facebook Marketplace. They all list, but they do not provide you with professionals and technicians who could actually assess this product and see the credibility and the quality, if it's worth the price and everything. So we provide you with professionals and technicians who would help you vet for this product, especially near you. So let's say you're in Kaduna, for example, and you're probably you're in Kaduna, you need a car from Kaduna and in Abuja. You could just hop on the Verify app and check for professionals around Kaduna who would help you check, for example, the car you're interested in buying in Kaduna. To check it for you, check the quality, check the health of the car and everything, and just ask them and then give you an honest feedback. So it's actually a one-time service. You pay for the services for the technicians and the professionals. You pay for the services and they give you an honest feedback. But we do not broker sales. We do not list. So it's basically solving the problem of fraud, selling bad cars, for example, selling bad cars, and the buyer safety. So our interest is the buyer. So that's just it. And in subsequent time, we could partner with car listing sites like insurance companies and auto financers and stuff like that.
Okay. It's well thought out because it's a sentimental project, but I do feel like there's a hard entry into the market, except you're trying to probably start with the state you're in and really push it to the point where other states now feel like they can use the service. Then that will be an easier first target audience, because it's important to know who you're building for first. You don't want to be putting dollar signs around the app, or when your first clients are in Nigeria or in your state. So personalizing it and localizing it would be the key to even expanding in a market that is a very tricky one because there's a very low trust value right now. So you're one of those who is early stage in bubble, so you're just going to have to do double the work while you're thinking about this. You're learning with the playlist, and yeah, generally you heard all those who are NCI team members. You've also heard a lot of the people who are also part of this bootcamp. This is for everyone. You are not asking questions in the main channel. The main channel is for, so for example, if you go over here and you say this is your product brief, someone from the team could create a thread and talk about it. You could have a back and forth directly in here, right? But those are for those type of showcase conversations. But for technical questions that you might have, it might be much better to reach out to someone from the team or or someone from the bootcamp. If it's a question that we feel like, okay, we need to make a general video about it, we would generalize it and we would make a video and upload it, right? But I'm just explaining how we should use the channel for questions, for general stuff, and reach out to individuals or create group chats in Slack and have general conversations and direct questions. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Joseph?
Yes, good evening once more. And I'm Joseph. My own project idea is about it's just like a taskmaster, which I named it. This is what everyone can use because it's something that can get your day organized, get your life organized, and you can even delegate some people to help you in some of your errand or something. Even a group can use this, or maybe as a project management app, which one can delegate or maybe map up a task and which can help that person to know when the task is completed or is progress or maybe something like that. My target audience is not just it can be anybody. Anybody can use it, especially those who are working class people who are very busy with their work. Sometimes it's very difficult for one to organize, to go about the work pressure and both family and other necessities. This app will help the person to organize, this is this for the day, this is this for the day, this is what I need to do, 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 so that it can't skip the mind. Because when you pack all the loads and you don't have any way to, just like a notebook where you note everything you ought to do. But in this app, this will give you some notifications, maybe something you plan to do. This will give you a notification, I've not done this, I need to do this, I've not done this other one. It's not a big project, but I think it's a dynamic one, which some other features can be added. But I want to start with the primary aspect of it.
Okay, so you said are your target audience going to pay for this app?
Yes, I think so.
How much are you going to charge them?
That's anyway. I'll charge them based on when it comes to maybe the way some delegation will be made, and
Okay, so where I'm driving at with this is more relating to, you have to pay bubble per month, right? You have to pay for hosting.
Yes. Okay.
These are all charges that go into your card. Like if
Okay.
your app is not optimized to collect money, are you funding a tax list off your pocket? Because that would be charity, right? So you have to think about an app that you fully feel like either somebody is going to see your app and want to buy it because they can push it further. There are sites that you can upload your app and say what your app does and put a price on it, and people could buy it. Or you're trying to build a business out of your app, which means you're trying to get money, right? So, but we're not doing hobby apps. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Emmanuel, do you want to go?
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So my app is Ride Link, right? So, sorry, give me a minute. Yeah, basically it's a community-based carpool app. So basically for events and regular events and programming like church services, weddings and stuff like that. So the event coordinators basically can create a link where, because the problem is you realize that a lot of people go for events, they go there and some people go without rides, some have rides but don't have any, and like they're going with empty cars, while others are going and due to difficulty in transportation and other things, right, they might end up stranded after the program. So it's a way to like meet riders with drivers. So just carpooling basically. So and it will be like community based on the event. So like for example, a church would organize it and create the system that, okay, they announce it on the link, or rather they post the link within their members. Those that have cars register and say, okay, I'm a rider, I have 3 spaces available. Those that register as what they call it, as drivers, sorry, those that register as riders say, okay, I'm looking for a ride to this area, basically just to meet that need. The reason why I did a community focus was because of the security implication. I mean, these are strangers that are giving you a ride, so a way to make it more covered, to make it more security conscious, because so the events are the ones that have to scrutinize the people that create offers within their account. Yeah. So.
So you're going to be looking at apps like this to. I don't think. I'm not so sure. Let someone tell me if there's something like this in Nigeria, but I don't think there is. But the thing with apps like this is the bigger companies like Uber and Bolt could just add this feature, right? And it's easy for them, and it will work better than your app. So you have to really think about how big you want your app to be, and if this happens, what happens for you? Because one thing that if anything, the tech world is moving so fast right now. You would not want to waste too much time with a specific technology building a product that does not scale, or you've not thought out the launch. It's either you're spending very short time on it, which is like 2 months, and if it doesn't work, you're done and you're moving on to the next app. There's founders that do that, which is like, spray and pray, right? But if you're going to spend months on this, you have to really think about that. But yeah, do you understand what we're expecting by next week?
Not exactly. So just the scoping document. Okay, what timelines, pages, data types, and stuff like that.
Yeah, good one. You could add in the data types. I'll make a list just to I'll put a list in the Slack. Is Wurola here? No. Okay. So yeah, those early stage for us, you don't have a project idea. Okay. So
yeah, I do, but I'm going to send it to the Slack.
Yeah, there's no need to send project ideas anymore. What you'll be sending would be full scoping, exactly what we're going to list out. This goes for those who are also early stage. While you're learning Bubble, you're also going straight into, okay, here's what I want to build, and here's the product scoping document. It's okay if you're not there on the timing or the timeline or anything really. We're telling the NCI team members to, if you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you could either raise this with someone else. We would specify who internally, and then we make a general video about it. Or the individual who you text would be able to help unblock you or have a sync with you. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. We haven't pushed the portal live yet. That will be live shortly, and over there you would be seeing the short videos that we upload relating to general functionality, reusables, how we use it, how you should use them on your apps. We would also be looking out specifically for those that we feel are just ready enough to join our team. So that's also something we're looking out for. And yeah, this we would, as much as possible, by Sunday, if we haven't seen, apart from those that have sent project ideas, we're trying to trim the list of people in the channel to only those who are going to be here week in, week out. So we're not really looking for the numbers this time. That's why it was strictly invite only. But we're more looking for those who can go through all the weeks, at least, so that we understand that we did something on our part and it's not just a waste of time. So this also applies to if you have someone in your network who you feel can come in and do this, you can directly invite them to the channel and have them interacting straight away. Does that make sense?
Yes. So.
Yes.
Blessing.
Sir, I was going to do thumbs up, but yes, that makes sense.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I would have to have a question, like if I'm lost during this whole scoping document thing, is there a way I could reach out to one of you, or how do I go about it?
Okay, so you could reach out to Beverly or Samuel. They could directly answer you, and if need be, raise it with myself. But yeah, Beverly or Samuel will be the person to reach out to.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys.